statement, typing, statement meere tayar cheyandi, question kuda meere tayar cheyandi. What if?
Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Shall we start? So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to this session of philosophy. So, actually, we have planned for 4 sessions on philosophy. That means 2 for philosophical foundations and 2 for sociological foundations. So far, 2 classes or 2 sessions related to. So far, 2 sessions related to philosophical foundations. That means schools of philosophy and educational thinkers were finished. And we are left out with 2 more sessions, but due to time constraints, we are not going with 2 sessions. This will be the lone session related to sociological foundations. So altogether, we term these sessions as philosophy. Anyhow, we shall start this session. And here, most probably, we deal with the issues of sociology, the issues of culture. And as per the schedule given to us, it is society and also culture. Right? So, before going into the formal session, I would like to ask a few questions related to that means the previous sessions. Depending on that or based on that, we shall continue today's session. So the other classes, that means in the other sessions, we have dealt that philosophy will set the aims, will set the objectives, will propose certain methods and also skills. That means nothing but curriculum related to education. So we have bombarded with each and everything related to the theories from the East, the theories from the West, the schools of thought from the East, the schools of thought from the West. Educational thinkers, rather call them as educational philosophers from the East and even from the West. So this is how we have finished and we have discussed in the previous sessions. And for your strange surprise, I would like to ask you one question. So why do we need education for? So far we are telling that in education we need to do like this, we need to do like that, and moreover we need to carry out our process in this method, in this way, in this skill, and our curriculum should be like this. And after all, why do we need education? This is an open statement. Anyone can answer. Pardon? One after the other. To develop our life, to develop moral values. Yes, please. To inculcate or imbibe human values. To change the behavior, to get enlightenment, to improve our character. Yes? Pardon? So how we can change the society? Pardon? To serve the society, right. To serve the society. That is what in the curriculum we have dealt that a student should be a productive citizen. That is how he can serve the society. Yes. Anyone? Few more. Pardon? So how to live in society, how to dwell with the society, right. Little more. To earn money. Yes, of course. What's wrong in it? That will be the ultimate aim, right? There is no free lunch in this world. To eradicate social evils, yes. So I accept and agree with all the opinions now, right now. Till now you have said, whatever you said, I agree with all those things, yes. Little more? How to develop life and how to get knowledge, unknown to the known, yes. A knowledge getting process.
To lead a gentle life.
To lead a gentle life. It's a gentle life or gentile life? I hope you know the difference between gentle and gentile. Right? Gentile means outcasted. Gentle. Yes, that is why I said ladies and gentlemen. Right? So nice of you. A little more. So I put before you a few things. For example, 1/3 of the human life. 1/3 of the human life So we spare it for educating ourselves, we spare it for education. So it's a matter of fact. And we spend this 1/3 of the life in order to live happily the 2/3 of the life. So that is how uh, we have a opinion, we have one kind of pride that we are abler, we are very much what you call intellectual than any other living things, whether it may be animals or plants. So whatever it may be, right? So how many senses do we have? Five senses. Very nice. And what about the animals? What about a domesticated animals, dogs or pet dogs? All this. Yeah, they have senses, but not as much as we have. So what about trees and plants? So they too have life. If you don't say that they are not living things, J.C. Bose will come to you as a nightmare, right? Sir J.C. Bose will come to you as a nightmare, right? So, moreover, when compared to the other animals, man is also a social animal. We are also social animals. When compared with other animals, so we are having more senses. It's a matter of fact. We are having more senses, and animals, that means cats, dogs, cows, they don't have as much senses as we have. But though they have the less senses, they are not going to schools. Though we have more senses, we are going to schools and colleges. Have you ever observed all these things? Then what is the purpose of education? So far you have said that it is knowledge getting process. So to become respectable man, to earn money, all these things. Yes, of course. But animals, they have less senses, but they don't go to schools and colleges. We have more senses. Even then, we are going to schools and colleges. 1/3 of the human life. Have you ever thought of this? For a moment. For a moment. So, just think about this. Why we are going to schools and colleges? Why do we need education? Yes, of course, I said to have a better life, to get knowledge, to earn money, to earn respect, all these things. Yes, I agree. Little more. Little more. Of course, knowledge getting process. To have innate abilities, to develop innate abilities. Yes, please. To become a good citizen, right? If at all we have education, government never accepts and never appreciates you with a certificate that you are a good citizen. So there may be good parliamentarians and good MLAs, but not good citizens, right? What makes a man a good citizen? Nothing but our responsibilities towards the society makes a man good citizen. But let me tell you one thing. So how, in which way we are different from all these things, the other living things, animals and also plants? Nothing but we have more senses. But apart from that, more than that, we have a kind of reasoning, a kind of thinking, a will power. If at all we can do, we wish to do, we do. If at all we don't wish to do, we don't do. Whereas animals don't have that kind of willpower. So, for example, if you take any human being, if at all you want to skip the class, you can skip in any other way. So no observer can stop you. If at all you want to stay in the class for 7 hours at a stretch, yes, you can, because it is dependent on your willpower, right? So in this way, we are different from animals and also other things, plants and animals. So we are having that kind of willpower, whereas animals doesn't have that kind of willpower.
One more thing, sir.
Yes, please.
We can talk, but they can't. That is also different.
Pardon?
Animals can talk.
That is a different issue which we need to discuss in psychology, and that's a different issue. Yeah.
Difference between human beings and animal beings.
You are mentioning about speech and talk. Right? Is that speech?
We can talk, animals can't. The difference.
That is a different thing. It depends upon the formation of the speech organs. Formation of the speech organs, right? That was the biggest mystery in the creation, right? So let us not go away from the topic, right? So anyhow, yes. So if at all we take these animals and plants, they don't have willpower. So what is the basic instincts of animals? Nothing but eating, mating, and procreating. Eating, mating, and procreating. Even the trees and plants, they need to yield fruits, they need to yield flowers. That's all. So, have you ever seen any animal? I don't want to procreate. I don't want to reproduce other young ones. Have you ever seen any trees and plants? I don't want to yield fruits and uh, flowers. No, it is a cyclic thing that happens as usually, but we can restrict, we can control all these things. That is why, in order to put our willpower in a correct order, nothing but after all, our education is to control our instincts. That's all. After all, our education is to control our instincts. If you can't control, have you ever observed a cat stabbing another cat? A dog killing another dog? No. But here we can see that a man killing another man, because we don't have a control on the willpower. So that is the basic thing regarding education. Right? So, as far as man is living in a society, so straight away going to sociology. As far as man is living in a society, he need to go along with the group attitude, the group mores, the group responsibilities, and the mob behavior finally. So, dependent on all these things, so once behavior is evident, so in a group, the behavior is in such a way, whenever a man is alone or he is away from the group, his behavior may be deviant. So that is how we need to deal all these things. So here sociology deals with the aspects of the society. What is there in the society? Apart from man, we have our traditions, we have our customs, we have our culture, our taboos, our totems, do's and do nots in the society, right? So study of the society is nothing but sociology. So you may think what sociology has to do with the field of education. So dependent on all these social mores, social taboos, totems, do's and do nots, the law of the land, so the education system is determined. So dependent on that, the education system is dependent. So that is how, if at all you consider the education system of certain countries, most of the things are theocratic, not democratic, because they don't have the secular approach of the education. So that is how you have certain countries. I don't want to mention the names, as you all know all those things, right? So here, as far as sociology of education or educational sociology is concerned, so here, if at all the science, sociology as a science deals with the aspects of the education, nothing but how education is responsible for the social empowerment or emancipation. Just now you said we need to develop ourselves. So we need to have a kind of respect in the society. So how education is related? In which way education is emancipating all these things, that we deal with the educational sociology. And as far as educational sociology, nature is concerned, it has an impact on education system. They are what we call vice versa. So if at all the societal order is correct, the education system will be in a right path. If at all the education system is in a right path, the societal order will be correct. So they are vice versa. That means they are proportional to each other. And moreover, here education terms society as an important thing. That is what you said. Some of you said that social development or something else, right? So that is how you need to get along with the society, and you need to have a kind of awareness on the social problems. Someone said social evils. So nowadays we debate on all these social evils, but previously they never debated. They never used to discuss, but they they use it to project in terms of arts and culture. Arts and culture. For example, if you take our famous Telugu plays, since you belong to literature, I mentioned few things. Famous Telugu plays like Chintamani. So it is a strict, what you call, opposition regarding the Devadasi system, Chintamani. So they never debated what Devadasi system is. in any of the electronic media, because electronic media was not there in those days. But they have projected all their ideas in the form of a play, drama. So likewise, even Kanya Sulkam, right? So that is how you need to have an awareness on the social evils, whatever it may be. It may be child labor, it may be dowry system, it may be unemployment, it may be population explosion. So whatever it may be, we need to have an awareness. That is how we can eradicate. Someone said, rightly said, eradication of the social evils. And next, it deals with the cultural progress. Cultural progress. For example, what is culture? All our behavior activities, all our what you call gestures, our postures, it comes under culture. The way you dress, the way you talk, it comes under our culture. So widely acceptable things by the society. And coming to the scope of educational sociology, here it has so many issues to be dealt with: education, culture, the group attitude, group and also group dynamics. For example, so in this orientation program, we have two groups, the English group and the Telugu group, right? There is a kind of uniqueness. So within this, you have group dynamism, group characteristics, mob behavior, and all these things, right? Next one, coming to the organization and the student-teacher rapport. Organization in the sense, school as an organization, or educational institution as an organization. And finally, educational sociology deals with the student and teacher rapport, the interaction between student and also teacher, right? So, for example, if you take in this process, that means in this educational sociology, so here you have a school as an organization, just now I mentioned. For example, if at all it may be formal or informal educational system, whatever it may be. For example, all these things, 10 plus 2 plus 3, this is a kind of formal education system. So whereas people, they doesn't have the opportunity to study, so even then they are being educated, they are being literated, they know how to behave in the society. That comes through non-formal education, whatever it may be. Non-formal education, it may be through peer group, it may be through the society, it may be through the culture, however it may be, right? And one of the remarkable things in this educational sociology is nothing but socialization. Get along with or moving along with the norms of the society or law of the land. For example, when we are born as an infant, we don't know how to behave, we don't know how to excrete, we don't know where to excrete. But later on, as we are growing on, so we know what to do and what not to do, and where to do and where not to do. So this is what, in a nutshell, socialization is: getting along with the law of the land, norms of the society. And coming to the characteristics of socialization, it is dynamic, it keeps on changing, it is tentative in all the ways, and socialization is a never-ending process. So sometimes we try to learn issues even at the ripe age, even at the old age. For example, if you take what you call even on our deathbed, so there are certain things to be learned. That means learning is a never-ending process. It's a continuous process from womb to tomb, as you all know. So that is how it is also. Socialization is also never-ending process. And moreover, this socialization helps in the personality development. Someone said character. So this is how we build up our character. Sometimes we inspire ourselves. That means we get inspired by people, sometimes by film stars, sometimes by sports personalities, sometimes by leaders. So likewise, this is how we develop our personality. And the main agencies or the sources for this socialization, that means formally or informally, it will be first the family, the second one is school, the third one is peer group, and finally the media, whether it may be print media or electronic media. So we learn how to behave. This is how we need to get along with the society. This is how we need to deal with the members of the society. This is nothing but socialization. Socialization, right? And another aspect in sociology of education is nothing but social change. Social change. So any change in the society, whether it may be um, the order of the society or the societal change, whether it may be the transformation, social transformation, whatever it may be, it is termed as social change, right? Sometimes it might be demographic, sometimes it may be geographic, sometimes it is related to culture. All the changes in geography, all the changes in culture will lead to social change, right? And one of the finest instrument for social change is education. Through education we can change the society. This is also dealt by you, this is also said by you just before, right? And next, coming to the another aspect, that is social stratification. Social stratification in the sense nothing but the division of the society, strata. So what we said, sociology is nothing but study of the issues of the society, the social order, the social divisions, whatever it may be, taboos, totems, mores, right? Or rules and regulations of the society, all these things. So if we divide the society depending on the strata or this status, it becomes a social stratification, right? So here you have so many issues for social stratification, nothing but division of the society. Previously in the ancient days we have the varna or the caste system, so that is also a kind of stratification, the division of the society. So later on, coming to the education system, we have fourfold education system, right? So the hermitage, the celibate, all these things. So they also talks about social stratification, and social stratification is dynamic and also historic in its perception. Social stratification is universal, it is found in each and every part of the world, in bits and parts of the world, right? So and education is also a prime agent or a prime instrument or an important instrument for social stratification. For instance, if you take this kind of group attitude in the organization of a school as an organization, we have a classroom where some people are known to each and everyone, some people are isolated, some people never mingle with other students, some people go in groups, some people go hand in hand. So this is how you have a kind of division in the class. So in the evaluation point of view also, we categorize the class as average, above average, and also below average, right? So half of the students are average, and 1/4 of the students are above average, and 1/4 are below average. This is nothing but the vague terms of the vague stratification related to evaluation. So likewise, we need to have a kind of stratification. So the stratification indeed helps in what you call a development of the society, right? And another aspect in sociology is social mobility. So don't get confused with the social transformation or social change, and even with social mobility, right? So movement or changing from one social status to another social status is termed as social mobility. There is horizontal mobility and even vertical mobility, right? So here education need to fill the gaps within the mobility. For example, if you take a horizontal mobility, so a person is working as a clerk in one of the offices, in one of the government offices. If at all he is transferred to some other place as the same designation as a clerk, so then it will be horizontal mobility. There is a change in his place, not in his status. Even then it will be termed as social mobility, right? And here, if at all a person is being transferred to some other place or being awarded some other hierarchy, that is nothing but from a clerk to a superintendent, so then it will be vertical mobility, right? So nothing but there will be hike in his hike in his salary, there will be enhancement of his social respect and all these things. That is how you have social mobility Even here, we need to see how education is responsible for this social mobility, how these gaps are being eradicated or eliminated in the society through education. So, whatever the issue may be in sociology, whether it may be socialization, whether it may be social stratification, whether it may be social change, social mobility, wherever it may be, education plays a vital role. Without education, all these things are impossible. So it is a matter of fact that we cannot have all these changes without education, right? And next, coming to the aspects of culture. Aspects of culture. So actually this session is society and also culture. That is how we are dealing with sociology, the aspects of sociology and also culture. So as we have discussed before that sociology is the study of society. What is there in society? Nothing but all the rules and regulation, the taboos, totems, do's, do nots, social mores, and even our culture and tradition. Culture and tradition. And just before we have said that culture is nothing but the way how we talk, the way how we discuss, the way how we dress, how we have a kind of empathy towards others, concern towards others. That is what we mention it as courtesy. Courtesy. If at all we are not courteous towards others, they may say this, that this fellow is a cultureless fellow. That means even courtesy is a kind of culture, right? So that is how you need to take all the things. Previously you said the change of behavior is nothing but education. Even behavior is also a kind of culture. Our culture is evident through our behavior, right? So here our habits, our faiths, our beliefs, all together, what not, each and everything about a person or about a society is related to culture. There are two types of culture. There are two types of culture. The first one is material culture. The second one is non-material culture. Non-material culture. For example, material culture in the sense some rules and regulations are transmitted or carried forward to the next generations in terms of culture. Some things, nothing but it may be certain what you call systems of the society. Whereas coming to non-material culture, it will be values and also ethics. Values and ethics. Sometimes we learn these values from teachers, from our elders. So, because they are pioneers of the society, they give us a kind of message through their lifestyle, through their living. That is why, so we have this kind of non-material culture. So, some are evident, some are not evident. Some are seen, some are not seen. Whatever it may be, culture is transferable. It will be transmitted. It will be transferred from one generation to the other, from one person to the other. For example, just before we said that socialization is nothing but taming or domesticating ourselves, or making ourselves a responsible citizen. If at all it is so, if we inculcate or imbibe all these kinds of cultural activities in the sense not related to arts and dance forms, but I am talking about our behavior, our etiquette. So if at all it is in the terminology, so here we transmit from one generation to the other generation, right? So some students are reluctant when they initially join the school, but later on they are used to the environment of the school, and in one way they are being tamed. They are being tamed. So this is how they have a kind of inspiration from the students. This is how teachers teach them how to wish good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whatever it may be. So in the beginning they might be reluctant. So they don't know how to wish a teacher because they are very new to that particular school. So if the teacher starts pampering them, so then wherever the teacher may be, so they straight away go to the teacher, wish them, and later on they'll go to the classes. This is how they develop this kind of etiquette. And coming to the characteristics of culture, culture is more societal than material, more societal. So it is evident in the society. Society is nothing but people, a group, a social group, right? And culture is dynamic. It tends to change. It keeps on changing, and moreover, culture is shared. We share our culture to others. That means from one generation to the another generation. For example, if you take uh, off the record, I give this example. Previously,
టైం ఉంది సార్. కానీ అంబేద్కర్ జయంతికి వస్తారట వాళ్ళు.
okay, ma'am.
వాళ్ళు టీ సర్వ్ చేయటం ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది జనం ఎక్కువైతే. సో ఒక 15 minutes తర్వాత మళ్ళీ కంటిన్యూ చేయమని అడుగుతున్నారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
So anyhow, we deal with the aspects of the culture after a short break, right?